Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Jessica Abernathy, and with me today is Tricia Montgomery, and you are listening to Pets Are Family.
Happy Earth Month.
Happy Earth Month. There's a lot going on this month, just besides Earth Month. Happy Earth Month. I got the colors
Happy
going
Earth.
up.
I got a little pinks and yellows in the background there. Not sure about Earth Month if I've got that, but I've got the knowledge for Earth Month. If that makes any sense for you.
I got the putrid green on the walls with the flowers, you know.
I love your green. I always said it looks like one of those Zoom backgrounds that you would pay for, or at least download, and people create like memes and gifs and tiffs and pings and JPEGs and whatever else they create.
If I zoomed out, though, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Jessica's. It's a hot mess."
Oh my goodness. You look very lovely today. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, girlfriend. Hanging in there, normal stuff,
Awesome.
So
Good,
how are you
good.
doing?
So we
How's Florida
I
treating
am
you?
it's busy, but we got a lot to unpack here and talk about for Earth Month and
We do.
sustainability. We want to talk about green line poop bags. We want to talk about Augie bones. We want to talk about heartworm. And then I think we're going to address my little situation that happened on Saturday. So where do we want to go first?
Let's talk about Earth Month. Let's talk about everything, and then we'll talk about you. Well, because that one might get us in tears. So let's talk about all the stuff that's not going to make us cry first, and then we'll talk about the crying stuff at the
Okay.
end. How's
Okay.
that?
We can do that. We can definitely do that. So this month is actually Earth Month, and I'm pulling up my information here. So we talk a lot about Moose's March and Earth Month, but Earth Month is really that time to reflect on our choices and, really, is it good for the environment? Is it good for us? And you have someone that you love that is really dedicated and has spent their whole career really dedicated to Earth Month. Who is that? And tell us a little bit about her.
Well, Jennifer's been on the show. When we first
Yes.
started, she was on our show, with Pets Are, not Pets Are Family, duh. With Greenline Pet Supply, she has the only biodegradable or landfill biodegradable poop bags. And yep, yeah, there you go. I'm gonna have to get that sound. I'm gonna work on sound effects. She is the only one that I know of. She's probably the biggest recycler I've ever met in my life. She is the queen of recycling, and that's her mission in life, is to make the world a greener place. And she is, and that's her goal in life. And so she created the landfill biodegradable poop bags, and it's been a challenge. You know what I mean? There are certain
Yeah.
states. I am not going to mention what state on the West Coast that should fall in the ocean. That challenges are on a regular basis about it. You know what I mean?
And just and just
California.
and just their governor is their governor rhyme with Susum?
California. Anyway, yeah, there's a few of them that give her a hard time. But no, it's her mission. The bags are wonderful. We use them. You use them.
I
She's
do.
got the great banner bags, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We were at the NAPS conference, and it was funny at the end of the NAPS conference. They were like, "What are we going to do with our banners?" And I was like, "Give them to me. I'll take them home with us. We'll have Jen make them into poop bag holders, and
Oh
next year at the conference, we'll
yeah.
give them away." Right? I
Oh
was like,
wow. That's a
"Huh?"
great
Everybody
idea.
was like, "No kidding, right?" I have them every once in a while. I mean, I earn my dollar every once in a while.
I think you, I think
So,
you got a lot of them. I think you got a lot of them. So on Earth Month, we also talk about Augie Bones, our
yep,
friends at Augie Bones, which are plant-based,
right.
non-toxic, sustainable. And coinciding in that really is Mrs. March when we talk about toxicity in our pet toys and cancer. And so much research has come out on toxicity in our toys. And we think about the poop bags, we think about the food. So again, Augie Bones, that sustainable plant-based tough dog chew toy. Love them. Just like Jennifer, it's been an uphill climb for Augie Bones, trying to get, that this is no nylon, no plastic, sustainable, biodegradable, compostable, and all of these other great things. So getting people to make the switch, I think it
Right.
starts with education. So it's important for education.
Yeah.
But here at Pets for Family and Moose's March, we are talking about Earth Day, Earth Month, and just in your travels, guys, make sure that you're making good choices and wise choices, whether you're making them for your pets,
Yeah.
whether you're making them for your children, whether you're making them for your husbands or your own
Yourself.
life and yourself. Anything that you're doing, we want to make sure that we're taking care of our planet, our pets, and ourselves. And so really, really important about that.
Yeah.
So we're also talking about April also happens to be what? Heartworm Awareness Month. And we are talking about that. I think we've got a great blog on the website, but talking about how important vaccinations are, talking about heartworm, the causes, what causes that, what you can do to prevent that. Last year we had Becky Mosser on this Pets or Family podcast, and she loves heartworm. She loves talking about the larvae and all those other creepy critters that are involved with that. But National Heartworm Awareness Month is coming in, and how incredibly important that is as well. Jessica, what do you know about heartworm?
Well, I actually fostered a dog with heartworm, and a lot of people don't realize how challenging that is. You know what I mean? Because they're just like, "Oh yeah, it's easy," blah blah blah. It's not. It's not easy to
No,
take care of a
yeah,
dog that is heartworm positive, because they're like, oh, after a while, they're like, oh, he's feeling good. We'll let him run around, and that's you can't do that. You know what I mean? And
right.
little Annie, she was a beagle that came from I. We'll just go to the south. I think she came from the south. That's all I'm going to say, because I can't remember what state, but she stayed in a crate with us for 4 months.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I mean, she was full of heartworm. I mean, she was full. And she literally was in a crate because we had to keep her calm and we had to keep her from not moving around. And when she started feeling a little bit better, oh, that little girl was like, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me play, let me
Oh
play. And I
my
felt so bad
gosh.
for her, but we couldn't let her because she was just like, because she was young. She was like a year and a half, and she was just like little puppy energy too. And she's like, "Let me out, let me out." And we were just like, "We can't, little one." I said, "Because you're not going to survive if we let you." And it was awful. I
Yeah.
mean, it's heartbreaking. But you know what? She's adopted. She's got her dad. She's in a good place. You know what I mean? I had to do the tough, the so sorry. I did the hard part, you know what I mean? Because I had to be the disciplinarian to keep her there, you know what I mean? But I'm the
Yeah.
one that, I hate to say but you know what I mean? We were the ones that made sure that she stayed alive. And that's the harder part of doing it. But so I've seen it firsthand. I've seen what it's like, and I've seen
Yeah.
the healing process. And I don't wish that on any dog. And I don't wish that on any foster parent either, because
Yeah.
that's not easy on the foster parent, because we want to love them and help heal them to give them to a good home to pass them on to. But doing that, it's heartbreaking, because they just look at you like, look, lady, let me out. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
let me out of
I
this.
re-
You cruel
when
fat.
So Moose was heartworm positive whenever I adopted him, or fostered him first and then adopted him. And they make those little squares that they can determine when the fur grows back. That means they're actually able to. If you ever see patches of squares on dogs, they shave them, and that's where they do the injections. And that's a pretty powerful injection. But I remember he just plotted, and I'm me, I'm a big exerciser, and I'm like, okay, we can go for a walk, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't, nothing. You can't do anything. And so, but heartworm is not a death sentence. I think
No.
if you get your pets, if you keep them up to date on their vaccinations, if you're doing preventative medicine, and our beautiful friends at Behringer Ingelheim have some incredible heartworm next guard, front heart guard, all these different things that they've got. Love them, and they actually sponsored our Heart and Home program. So Yeah, vaccinations, preventive care is so extremely important. And there are people that actually just get into heartworm. I remember just seeing this lecture for Dr. Chris from Zoetis, and I'm like, it's like, oh, you're really, you like to pull those heart things. I'm like, whoa, no. But if you like it, you like it. It's your passion. That's what you do. I think Becky really liked that. Becky Mosser really loved that as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So it's like,
Oh,
wow,
yep.
no, not
Nope.
so fast, not so fast. So couple again talking about heartworm. It is Heartworm Preventative Month, and we're talking about it is Earth Month, and so those things that we have to keep checks for and
We want to
everything
keep
like
those
that.
little bugs in the earth, not in our pets, in the earth.
We
Keep
do.
them in the
And
earth.
mosquito season is coming upon us right now, and especially in the South. And it's not just prevalent in the South. I mean, there are heartworm cases found in,
No.
in Florida, in Nevada, in California, in Nevada. And people are like, well, I don't live in the South, there's no mosquitoes around here. Well, yeah. So just make sure you're
There are
being
mosquitoes
very
everywhere.
diligent about that. Yeah, they are. There are. And I know in Florida, following Hurricane Ian, here in Cape Coral, we experienced an uptick in heartworm, and that was due to the standing water because of Hurricane Ian. So people don't even think about these things, but we really saw a rise in heartworm here. I know at Cape Coral Veterinary Clinic and Animal Shelter, they experienced quite an uptake, as well as Gulf Shore Humane Society and several others here. So, but again, they need homes too. So again, not a death sentence.
Yeah.
Just watch them and be vigilant. Be vigilant about this. Heartworm is, and be vigilant about Earth Day too. So combining those two.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about a story. I'm going to tell a story, and you know this story. So
I do.
Jessica got a call from me on Saturday. I'll let maybe Jessica, if you want to throw that, or Justin, if you want to throw that picture up there of the dog that I was thinking about. So I decided, guys, this was the time that I was going to adopt. As you know, you followed, if you're listening to these podcasts, you know that I've said I was going to get a puppy, I was going to get a Labradoodle, and I was going to get, adopt, rehome. I've had all of these opportunities. And every time I was ready to pull the trigger, I couldn't do it. I mean, I think I've lost a lot of money on deposits and some other things just because something happened and I couldn't make the jump. So over the past week, I was on Gulf Coast Humane Society website, and there was a dog named Rocco who was, I believe, a 4-year-old English bulldog, and he was just the cutest smushy fresh ever. He had an
And,
underbite,
oh,
and I just went an overbite or underbite. I don't know what it was, but I just wanted to smush him, and I just read up on it, and I saw his story, and he was there, and there was also a really cool Labradoodle there too, and I'm like, okay, if he's there tomorrow, I'm gonna call. If he's there, and I kept waiting, like every day I would say, if he's there tomorrow, I'm going to go by. And then like Friday night, I'm like, if that dog is there Saturday morning, if I open up my phone and Rocco is there, I'm going to be first in line to adopt Rocco. So what happened? He was there. And so I sent Jessica the picture and I'm like, look at this little nugget. I'm going to smush him, and I was so excited to adopt Rocco. And I had built up this fantasy in my head of what our life was going to be like. I kind of consider it when I was really fat that I would make up like fantasies about boys and like football players and everything like that because I did, it was like this thing in my head that I could create this whole like scenario. So I did the same thing with Rocco. So when I had everything prepared, I like called a bunch of people and I'm like, I'm going to go see Rocco. I called Dr. Rayanne Van Pelt. I said, hey, I'm considering adopting. What do I had you look up the breeds because
yeah, they're like,
pets are
what's
family,
the
something
medical
special.
history? What should I be worried about?
And it tied into this whole thing that we're going to be doing breeds and all this whole series on pets or family coming up. But also along with that, I'm like, okay, what am I getting myself into? Trying to be really prepared about this, all this stuff. And so, I was ready. I like got to the Humane Society. I got there at 4 after 12, and there were like four other people waiting ahead of me to look at Rocco. And but the lady knew me, and she's like, "Aren't you?" And I go, "Yes, that's me." She's like,
Love
"I'm
that.
just gonna, they're here to look at other dogs, but they're also here to look at Rocco." She said, "So we're gonna make sure that we get you in line first." And I was so excited. All these people are standing in line, right? And I'm like, she's like, she recognized me, and she's like, "Now just fill out that application over here, and they're here to look at other dogs, and so we're gonna let you go first." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And all these other people were like giving me glares. So she's like, "Just go back and meet Rocco at his run." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I walked up, and there he was, and he was like barking at me, like "Ruff, ruff," like barking, 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 barking. And then he turned around and he turned his butt towards me. And I've been in animal welfare. I'm in animal welfare. We're in animal welfare. And I know the shelter environment, what that can do to dogs, and how it's not their personality. It's not who they are. And then you have to take all those considerations. And so the kennel worker comes back, and there's another person with him. So he's like, "Well, just go to that blue bench and go sit outside, and we'll bring him to you. And then you can, do your meet and greet, and then we'll, take it from there." So went outside, sat in on the blue bench, and I waited anxiously with anticipation to see Rocco. And he didn't really look at me. And he came up to me, and, I was petting him and everything like that. And we were, and so all of a sudden, visions of Moose came into my head. And I started to feel super, 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 super sad. And so I started to talk to the kennel technician. I think his name was Taylor, and he was really kind. We were talking and talking and talking. And he said, "Well, let's go over here and, let's let you walk him, and let's see how he operates outside a leash." So we did that, and I played ball with him and everything like that. He didn't really come up to me. He kind of turned away, and he was more attached to the Humane Society workers, as they should be, because they've been freaking taking care of him for the past 12 days. But
Right.
I, he just, he didn't look in my eyes. We didn't have a connection. And then it wasn't only that, it was like I was not ready. And I sat there, and I just tried to like make the jump. And he said, "Well, he's yours if you want to take him home today." And he said, it was getting a little bit hot outside. He's an English bulldog, cutest little freaking bulldog in the entire wide world. And I said, "I'm going to take some time." And he said, "Well, I'll meet you back at the run." I sat there at the blue bench. I went back to the blue bench, and I sat there, guys, and I cried. I just had like tears streaming down my face. And I sat there, and I sat there, and I thought, what is going on with me? And I went to Taylor, walked inside, and I said, "I can't do it. I just can't make that jump yet. I can't do it." And he goes, "That's okay." He goes, "When you know it, you'll know it, and you're ready." So I went out front, and everybody's like looking at me, and because they were waiting to see Rocco, and here I am. And of course, I didn't. And so I told the girl, sorry, it's got a little teary-eyed there. And I said, "He's going to go to a good home." So I made a donation in his honor at Gulf Coast Humane Society. And then I came out, and who did I call? None other than my favorite person in the world, Miss Jessica. And I was sobbing so hard. I don't even know if you heard, if you could understand a word I said, but I was crying like so hard. I couldn't catch my breath, because I'm like, what is wrong with me?
There's
Why
nothing wrong with
can't
you. Remember, we talked about this. We even said it would be a great
Yep.
podcast because there's nothing wrong with what happened. There's nothing
But
wrong.
Jessica, what did you say to me though? So Jessica, guys, Jessica talked me off the ledge because I literally was unconsolable. I mean, I couldn't catch my breath. I was crying that bad. So Jessica, what's going on with me? Why can't I do this?
Well, I said, A, you're not ready. You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. But I also said, B, that he's an owner surrender, which we found out when you were there. He's an owner
yeah.
surrender, and he's only been there for 12, 11, 12 days, is what you said.
12 days, 12 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he is not going to show well there because he is scared out of his ever living mind and he does
yeah,
not know what's going on. And so every person that walks into that cage or into that area, he's weary because he's looking for his owners and he's not, he looks at
yeah.
you like, I don't know who you are, lady, but I'm not, I don't know what's going on, but this guy's been feeding me. So I'm just going to keep talking to him, not you, because I don't know what you want. And I don't
Yeah,
know what's going on with you, but I, okay, but yeah, I don't, you mean nothing to me right now because you
exactly.
know, you mean nothing to me. Dogs do not show well. You know that. They do not show, especially
Yeah,
if their owner surrenders like that because they don't understand what's
exactly.
going on. They're just like,
They
where's
don't.
my human? Where is that person?
Yeah,
Where is my person? And they're looking at you going, why are you talking to me? You know what I mean? And I just had to
yeah.
remind you that he's like,
You did.
lady, I don't know who you are. And I kept like, I kept doing that too because I was in the car. Remember, I was getting ready to go get my nails done, and I'm like sitting there going, Trisha, he's looking at you, and I'm like doing the side eye to myself. He just,
And it's true. Yeah.
he's just as freaked out as you are, and also that breed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are famous for ignoring you. It's like, mm,
But his bio had said, and the thing was, guys, I had made up, all of these happiness. I mean, I was talking about like doing a podcast. I was going to like do steps about adopting. I mean, I had like this whole fantasy in my head about what was going to happen with this dog and how beautiful our life was going to be together. It was like kind of stalkerish, that about, if I am
I did say
heaven,
that.
heaven help me if I ever get in a real relationship here. So,
Well,
oh
I
my
will
god,
tell you this.
oh my,
When I went for Teddy, it was the same kind of situation. I went to go adopt a little puppy, and her name was going to be Stella. She was a little brown Shih Tzu, and they had a previous litter, and he wasn't adopted. And I was like, I kept looking at him, and the litter that I was there for was chasing him around. Teddy hates puppies, just so you know, hates puppies. If you want to know if they're a puppy under 12 months, just bring them around Teddy, and Teddy hates anything under 12 months. He hates
oh
puppies
my
because he got
god.
tortured. But he was like running from these guys, and I looked at him, and he wouldn't make eye contact with me. He wouldn't. He's just kind of like, I don't know who you are, woman, but if you will pick me up and get me away from these 9 little things that are chasing me, I'll at least let you pick me up. And he was the same way. He wouldn't look at me. It took him 3 months to be to the point where he was like, all right, you might be cool. you
I
know?
think I think it has to do with the way that Moose took to me because the minute my eyes laid on Moose in that run at Posh Humane Society, I was like, done. And I even tried to bring him back, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. And because he just took to me, he took to me. So anyway, that's my story, guys. And and my beautiful friend Angela actually raises. She's an incredible breeder, but she raises French bullies, and she has some. She wants me to come by and see her dogs. It's Lilo C&G French bulldogs, and she has like 14 beautiful pups available. And so, anyway, she's got their AKC DNA testing, vet check, microchipped health guarantee. And so, yeah, she wants me to come by and look at one of her puppies too. So, but anyway, I would say that if you guys are thinking about getting another dog, if anybody out there is thinking about getting another dog, it's okay.
Do your
I
research.
mean,
Do
it's
your
okay.
research.
It's okay. Do your research. Also, if you're not ready, you're not ready and you'll know it. And if you need to talk to somebody, talk to Jessica, and you can cry on her shoulder, and she'll talk you off the ledge.
Well, I mean, you just gotta, you know when it's right. They know when it's right,
Yeah.
and it's, I mean, both of you are gonna know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The day I got Teddy was the day my dad had his first heart attack. It's the only reason I remember his gotcha date. You know what I mean? It's, and I literally picked up Teddy and we drove to Michigan, and he was in the car with me at the hospital while I was checking on my dad. I mean,
Oh
that
my
poor dog.
God.
Yeah. I mean, his gotcha date was horrific for the dog. I mean, it was like I took him away and he never saw our house for a week and a half. I mean, the poor dog
Oh
was
my
in
God.
like turmoil. So trooper, but you guys just do your research, make sure you understand what you're getting, you know what I mean? Really, really, if it doesn't feel right, you know what? You do not have to take it home. I make it sound like it's,
You
a herd
don't.
of something, but you know what I mean? It's got to be right for both of you, and it'll be perfect
It
if it feels
does.
right. There is enough
And
dogs and cats around.
there is. And I think also we have a special series coming up, and we're going to be cluing you into that very shortly here. But Jessica, you've taken the time to really research all the breeds. We're going to be going through all those breeds in a series of like mini short reels, talking about all the breeds' problems, talking about insurance, talking about everything. So we're excited to have that coming up here. You got for you all in the coming months for that. And Jessica, thank you for being my friend and just being there for me. I appreciate you so much.
Hey, you
And
talk to me
yeah,
awful lot.
I'm gonna give a shout. I want to give a shout out to our beautiful friends at Gulf Coast Humane Society. That you guys, the animal welfare, Jackie Roberts at Harris County Humane Society, Liz at Gulf Coast at Cape Coral. All these people do such beautiful work, and the hours are long, and it's heart wrenching, but it's also heartwarming as well. So thanks to all the animal welfare workers out there and everything that you do. And if you're choosing to get a dog that it's a breed specific, do your research, make sure you get that information correct. And so thanks, Jessica. It's been a delight today.
And remember, it's Earth Month, so let's get Earth friendly. So,
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
As always, we want to thank you for listening. Just remember that, we always want to thank our sponsors, and we always want to thank our partners and our friends and our family and everybody that loves us and everybody that supports us. So make sure that you go and support, Augie Bones, Green Line Pet Supplies. We're going to have links in our notes below down there. So make sure you go and check them out. They are affiliate links. We do get a little bit of a commission out of it, but make sure that you go check those guys out. You will not regret any of them. Like I said, we both use their products and we love them tremendously. So check them out. So down there, you got it. So if you like us, love us, share us, hit the subscribe button, share us with your friends, tell everybody to love us, like us, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next week. Have a great Earth Month, and we love you. Mwah! Talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to Pets Are Family. You can find us on all the channels now. Yes, all the channels now. So make sure you share us with your friends, your families, and your coworkers, and anybody that has a pet. Make sure you like us, give us your feedback, tell us if anything that you want us to talk about, all that fun stuff. You can reach me at Jessica at petsourfamily.net or Tricia at petsourfamily.net. Thank you for everything that you guys do, but make sure you like us, subscribe, check us out on YouTube. You can always see what we're up to. And we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of the people that support us. We love every one of you, and we can't thank you enough. And remember, check out Moose's March, moosesmarch.com, moosesmarch.com. Come check us out. Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Bye. I can't thank you enough. And remember, check out Moose's March, moosesmarch.com, moosesmarch.com. Come check us out. Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Bye.